Because social communication is going to be incredibly important if you're a guy that good looking. But even if you are a guy who's that good looking, all that shit thereafter harshly as fuck. There is a part of these girls. You walk up to a girl. Hey, boss. Okay. I was just getting going, sir. Oh, yeah, absolutely, sir. How you doing?
I have a Chihuahua at home.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say hi.
How old is it?
She is 2. Oh, so friendly.
2. She's like a puppy. She's very.
Yeah. I'm not MTA, but so I don't know. MTA can be taken about here.
Really? I was just gonna hang for a bit, smoke a cigarette. Really? Thank you, sir.
Not MTA. MTA. Am I right? You take it though. $800.
No kidding. Damn.
I just wanted to pet the Chihuahua.
Nah.
Right,
She's 15.
15.
She's a granny, yeah.
Oh my god. 15. I don't know if mine will live that long. What's next? All
right, boss. A lot of times. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to tell you some of the truth, though, about good game, you know? Talk about some of the truth about good game. Walk you through a quick scenario that you might see over and over again in boot camps. You walk up to a girl, you say an opener, you might see in hot seat, and he might give you some lines and tease her in a way that you've seen Tyler Owen or Todd say, and then you start to use a qualifier that maybe you've heard. And you'll be like, all right, cool, she likes me now, but let's go. And you ask her some questions like that. And all these things work, and then as you're doing it, girl's responding. She giggles, she laughs, maybe she touches her hair, and then at a certain point in the interaction, she goes, okay, cool, nice to meet you, and leaves. Now, strange enough, this happens once, and then sometimes this shit will happen to you over and over again, all night, every night, all week, and it just keeps happening and happening and happening. Do you ever think that it's a little bit unfair? You spend all this time studying pickup, and you know exactly how to structure an interaction and all that shit, and you know how to qualify, and you know how to pass a shit test, and you're aware of how to qualify and nag and pass a shit test and build comfort and all the things you just said to fucking move into an isolation of fucking venue change. And the other guy who doesn't even have game, doesn't look good looking, he just spits fucking chode game, and he has good interaction, and he has fucking, he doesn't even qualify. He goes in like a total chode, giving all his value away in the opening. Sometimes I see RSD Max do that, but it's like, it's because he does it with such confidence. He can just be like, hey, I like those titties. Is that you smoking those weed? And you're like, what the fuck? He just showed that like he was totally wanting to fuck her. But the thing is RSD Max carries fucking pimp, and pimps get down to business. You know what I mean? And you can tell her that in a way that says like you're a disposable hoe, instead of telling her that like you're on a fucking pedestal with titties, bro. They just don't want to get stuck with some chode who wants to be their boyfriend. They just want to have a fun time after working hard all fucking night. You know, generally a baseline socialization provides you a chance to look at game, not just like as an entire meal, but like a little bit of seasoning. You want a little bit of seasoning game sprinkled on top of a steak. A whole plate of salt would fucking suck. a little bit of game, a little bit of seasoning makes that steak taste better. They're just supposed to be an enhancement to general conversation. They're not supposed to be the whole fucking plate. See, when you walk up to a girl and all you give her is just straight fucking game, she's gonna short circuit, and not in a good way. So, if that becomes the overall interaction, you look ungenuine. Another is you look extremely fucking try hard. And third, you absolutely fucking fail to connect on a genuine level. So my suggestion to you would be this. You got to talk to lots of people. Men, women, ugly women, kids, grandmas, police officers, bus drivers, everyone. Get your general fucking baseline socialization up. I want you to have conversations where you don't want anything from the person. Because a lot of times really smart guys don't get socialized a lot at a young age. And then they start to learn that, okay, I will socialize or I will socialize because and then they're learning to talk to somebody from or something from. And then they learn to talk in a way that shows that every conversation is such that they want something from someone, which puts them in a lower value place. You need to come from a higher value or a neutral value place. You need to be coming from a place where you're not like thinking, how can I get money from this person? But how can I make it? But if you're constantly thinking, how can I get money out of this? And if you're constantly thinking from every situation that you're proceeding from a place of low value, then you're going to develop a ton of really terrible conversational habits. And you're just going to put in your mind that idea that you're not enough and without game. And that's not good. Then what might happen is you'll learn some fucking game techniques and you'll be like, oh shit, I can do this. I get a good reaction for it. So you think the idea is more game and more game and more game. But that again is just covering your plate of salt. Because it's success. And then like oftentimes people won't want to talk to you. So what you want to work on is that baseline socialization where you can get the fundamental down and you can do a variety of things and you have a bunch of moves. So what I'd recommend is just go out, talk to everybody for a fucking day with the idea that there's no possibility you're going to get laid at all, and get engaged in conversations and just try to meet people and talk to people you have no fucking interest in whatsoever. And then make the only purpose of the conversation just getting joy out of the conversation and adding value to yourself and them, but not taking value from them. But you got to be careful when you're trying to fucking add value into a media the way it makes you look low value. You want to get indications of interest, IOI. All of a sudden you'll start getting massive, both in terms of having a great communication, setting your frame, and getting great results. So all the work you put in game can be great, and it will only help you, garner that baseline socialization so that you can basically, you don't want to be rusty as fuck. If you've been studying to be a patent attorney or some shit, and before that you were practicing to be a concert pianist all the fucking time, you're probably going to be rusty versus these cats in the fraternities where they have this structured environment where they were constantly doing fucking socials and cotillions and shit since they were fucking 4 years fucking old. So you need to find a way to work off the rust and develop a baseline skill set. Don't judge yourself in the meantime. Just enjoy that process, This is such a weird fucking week at fucking San Francisco. It's like everybody's out of town. This park is usually popping, and now it's just like all families. And I almost think you should just fucking say fuck it. I guess the idea is you're supposed to be with fucking family, and I'd love to be with my family right now, but I had to fucking work, bro. Maybe that's a bad fucking. I'm not gonna judge myself, but yeah. I was in a situation where I had to work, bro. Period. The difference between a boyfriend man and a killer man relates to the different ways that you can be categorized as a man and how you meet girls in general. And this goes back to evolution. Basically, a girl is looking for the best possible genes she can get, or she's looking for a man that can help raise the kids. And those two things are not necessarily the same. Because the guy who has the best possible genes probably has hella options and little incentive to stay around. And the guy who has incentive to stay around doesn't have has an incentive to be there because he doesn't have a lot of options. So girls deal with this weird thing their whole life, and they have to kind of fucking balance that shit their whole life. a lot of times over time, not right away. But you want to convince a guy who's out of their league, but will somehow be the one guy that will actually stick around, though she'll never do better, and you have better fucking options. There's value, acting entitled like you deserve. Oftentimes, those two things are separate. We talk about how guys can actually be too fucking dumb to fail. You know, they're too dumb to fail and that's an interesting fucking incongruent fucking concept. So there's the resume version of getting the girl, and then there's the self-amused way of getting the girl. So the thing is, if I was to give you a strategy, and I'm not going to tell you not to build a resume, but like I've been the cat with the resume who's like, where the fuck's all the hoes, bro? Where are they? But I think you should do that for yourself. You shouldn't do that to get game, because the second you do it and you don't have fucking no hoes, you're going to be so bitter, bro. You got to do it, and then any of the benefits that come along with it are just fucking gravy, bro. If you're expecting all that shit, you're setting yourself up to be fucking bitter and angry. Do the fucking self-improvement shit for you, not for her, because the fact of the matter is these bitches don't respond to the shit you think they should respond to. Okay? A big example with a big frustration is I was my high school's all-time leading scorer in basketball. You told me that when I was in middle school. I said, so I fucked like 200 girls in high school, right? And the answer is no. You know, a lot of times I'd be able to get a girl to hang out with me, go on dates with me. I went on dates with all sorts of fucking girls. You know, high value girls in my high school and didn't wind up fucking them. You know, so there was this heightened emotional state. The girls who were a grade above me and 2 grades above me, Summer, Rainy, all these fucking, forget what, all three of those sisters, Megan, whatever the fuck, Alicia, I don't know. You talk about the guy who's the player guy and the guy who's the boyfriend guy, and you talk about being the guy who's both. So even though maybe you're in the player category as opposed to the boyfriend category, if a girl really likes you sexually, because there's that little bit of boyfriend in there, all of a sudden, instead of you and have sex with you, now she wants to see a fucking boyfriend and get phone numbers and go on a fucking date, and she'll try and put you in that fucking frame where you're like the guy who she gets to commit and invest in her. So you're being fucking punished for having long-term value. And the fuck boys who are wearing the Fox shirts and the flat bills and the fucking gay shears and the tats get to go fucking have wild sex, and you're being punished for being a fucking dude with a future. Fuck you bitches for doing that. I understand it now, but like when she actually thinks that you could be the guy who will stick around, you make it harder to sleep with her, and it's fucked up. So my strategy and philosophy, which I'll tell you, is to stay far away from being in that boyfriend fucking category, because you don't want to get pigeonholed into that shit. Don't bring up your physical possessions. Don't lead with money. Don't bring up logical reasons for her to sleep with you. Do not go out of your way to get her to sleep with you. She'll get to know you over time. If you get to know her, she has to get to know you. It used to be that the way I would fucking get girls to fuck me is that I would logic them fucking into it. And I'd have this great resume, and I'd let them slowly see that I'm the man. And and I'd have clever fucking interesting answers for shit. And it was all such a fucking waste, because they'd go wind up fucking some fuckboy with a flat bill, you know? And then they'd want to date me. So you gotta be careful of getting pigeonholed into that boyfriend fucking shit, because that's gonna cut you off from the instant sex that you want. So you take a lot of time, put a lot of fucking money in it, and they basically punish you for having long-term fucking goals in the future. So another thing these girls would do is they flirt with other fucking guys, and they wouldn't be as crazy with you sexually. They just like fucking... You'd be put in that fucking boyfriend, beta male provider frame, that chode, socially conditioned fucking bullshit, you know? So now, since one of the biggest developments since I developed Advanced Game in Vegas is that you got to work super hard on being self-amusing at all costs, to the point where when I run boot camps and immersions and an Australian accent just to fuck with shit and just to be self-amusing, or I'll do a fucking, you know, Sopranos fucking Jersey accent, or I'll fucking force myself not to ask a single question all fucking night and do things to make it more fun and interesting and more of a challenge. You know, another thing is that when you fucking get all these chode questions like, where are you from? What do you do? I don't even answer that shit when bitches ask me those questions. I just fucking laugh at them. If she's trying to qualify me for a boyfriend home run, I'm like, fuck off, bitch. I'm a fucking player. I'm balls deep in your night, you know? You know. If she says, where are you from? I'll tell her you're from heaven. Some bullshit answer. The point is, you're not trying to let these girls get to fucking know you. They'll punish you if you let them get to know you. You know what I mean? They'll fucking put you in that boyfriend category. Funny enough, that ultimately, I fucking limit it to the girls who are much more ready hold, and then they don't even fucking words. They don't even have it in their heads to fucking try to get it in front of them. It's just a completely different fucking vibe, especially for me because I was the guy with like a super good resume and a future and all that shit. If they get to know you, they'll fucking find this shit out. But if you let them find it out like on their own and shit, as opposed to this like try hard demonstration of value. But I hide all that shit from these bitches up front because then I'm not going to get the fucking insta sex and the wild crazy shit that they only have with the fucking fuck boys and players and Pookie and Ray Ray that runs the fucking street. You want to, ultimately you can show her you have all that long-term value, but it's happened after sex rather than before. So rather than make you go through a bunch of fucking boyfriend home loan questionnaire hoops, you can fucking just be like, that shit's already happened. They're off the table, and you don't have to be all fucking weird. And now she can just, all that shit could be off the table, and now she can just appreciate it. So then all those long-term fucking qualities you have will actually become rewarded rather than punished, whereas you gotta sex that she only gets fuck boys. So you gotta really hide any terms of fucking long-term potential that you the fuck boyfriend. You know, avoid showing the girl anything overtly that will fucking try to impress her. Work on your personality and try to be some fucking unique experience for you. You gotta understand how fucking disposable you are to these hoes. These hoes don't give a fuck who you are, what you're about, or how you feel, or anything. They just want to have some fucking fun, like Cyndi Lauper said. Okay, so don't get all hung up in all that fucking shit. Let her think you're a player, and she'll get to know you over time. If she really wants all that fucking shit, you're not going to get punished for fucking her earlier on. I used to think that, but really, these bitches have selective memory. These hoes forget what they want to forget and remember what they want to remember. You can add value and comfort later. There's a set formula for that and a linear way to do that, and you could always fucking do the wrong world, the real world. The logical part of you exists in the real world, but the illogical part of you is hard to come to from logic. So you want to change her fucking mood and not change her mind. Remember that. Never fucking forget that. Start with the value first, start with that player mind, and then use the boyfriend vibe as necessary down the road. You'll find much better results down the road. And it'll be much, much more enjoyment and frustration in your game, and you won't get treated like a fucking chode by these hoes. And that's fucking a lot of knowledge condensed right there, boys. I had to live a lot of life to learn all that fucking shit.